With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Have you ever stopped to think about fear? Like, is it always something out there? Or does it sometimes come from somewhere deeper inside?
It's a great question, because sometimes the scariest paths aren't into dark woods, but, well, into ourselves.
Exactly. And that's our focus today. We're doing a deep dive into this really interesting transcript from a YouTube video, Echoes Beneath the Stone. It starts off looking like, a standard cave adventure. Thrills, exploration.
But it turns into something else entirely, doesn't it? Something much more psychological.
It really does. So our mission here is to unpack how this story uses this physical place, Cedar Hollow Cave, all dark and oppressive, to explore, well, the landscape of our own internal fears.
Yeah, the regrets, the things we don't say. We're digging for those little bits of insight into psychological suspense and, the stuff we all carry around inside.
Okay, so let's set the scene. How does the story paint this picture of Cedar Hollow Cave right at the start? It calls it a jagged scar, mentions damp blackness spilling out.
Like ink. And that earthy chill, heavy and stale, like it's been trapped for ages. It immediately creates this sense of, well, dread, doesn't it? Even before they go in.
Totally. It's not just scenery. It feels active, almost like another character in the story.
Right, and you get that tension straight away. You've got Leah, her voice trembling, asking, "You sure this is a good idea?"
Yeah, and then Jin's trying to be brave. It's just a cave, nothing's going to jump out. But even his voice kind of echoes weirdly.
And Maya, who seems to be our main viewpoint character, her heart's already pounding, not from climbing, but from this unseen unease.
That phrase really jumped out at me. Time itself stuttered beneath the ground. What do you think that signals right off the bat, psychologically speaking?
Oh, that's a fantastic detail. It signals that the real unsettling stuff isn't going to be a slow buildup. It's immediate. The rules are different down there.
Right.
Time stuttering. It tells you the mind, your perception. That's the first thing that starts to wobble. It lays the groundwork for everything that follows.
Okay, so they go in, and then there's this discovery. A symbol. Leah finds it, right?
Yeah, she stumbles, finds this faded symbol etched deep into the stone. It's described as kind of a clan-like mark, twisted like a warning, old, forgotten.
So how does finding this thing change the dynamic? It feels like a real pivot point.
It absolutely is. The air changes too quickly, too sharply. Suddenly there's this stillness that felt alive. It's not just exploring anymore.
It's like the cave responds.
Exactly. The story says it whispers back, not with sound, but with something deeper, a kind of pulse. And that's where reality and, well, what they think is reality start to blur. The internal journey ramps up.
So speaking of perception blurring, Eli starts hearing things. Whispers.
He asks, "Do you hear that?" But nobody else does. Just the dripping water.
What does that tell us? That only he hears it?
Well, it brings in that theme of subjective experience, doesn't it? They're all in the same cave, the same situation, but his reality is starting to splinter off.
And physically they're pushing deeper, the tunnel's getting tighter.
Yeah, narrowing until the walls scrape shoulders. That claustrophobia, that physical pressure. It's just making everything worse internally, making each of them more vulnerable in their own way.
And Jin, Mr. Confident at the start, he's the one who finally cracks and says,
"Guys, I think we're lost." Yeah, suddenly nothing looks familiar.
how does that physical lostness connect to, maybe, an internal lostness for him?
Wow, it's a perfect mirror. He loses his physical bearings, and you feel his internal confidence just crumble. The cave isn't just a maze of rock, it's reflecting their own inner confusion back at them.
Which leads right into Leah's question, which feels super important. She asks,
What if it's showing us things we're scared to face?
yes, that feels like the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
What does that question really unlock in the story?
It shifts everything. It suggests that the real terror isn't some monster hiding in the shadows, but the stuff they brought down there with them, the things buried inside themselves.
The cave is forcing a confrontation.
Exactly. It's not just a passive setting anymore. It's actively pulling things out of them.
And then the cave itself seems to react. There's that low groan echoed beneath their feet.
Yeah, vibrating through the rock. And the rhythm is off. It's not matching their heartbeats anymore. It's dragging them down, pulling out old memories.
So the environment and their inner fears are sort of feeding each other.
It seems like it. It's an active, almost predatory relationship, which leads to Jin's really chilling thought.
What's that?
He wonders, what if it's not the cave but us? What if everything we fear is already living inside to be released to survive? Boom. That flips the whole source of the horror.
Okay, so if the horror is us, like Jin suggests, how does that change their struggle? It's not just get out of the cave anymore.
Right. It becomes a psychological battleground. Surviving the cave means surviving themselves, confronting their own stuff, the things they've pushed down. The real maze isn't the tunnels, it's inside their heads.
And you see that pressure building and how they react differently. Maya's resolve is cracking. Leah's near tears.
Jin's jaw is clenched super tight. Eli's just frozen.
It really shows how fear hits everyone differently.
Yeah.
Even in the same spot.
Absolutely. It's personal. And then Maya sees something, or thinks she does. An indistinct shape, a pale hand.
Is it real? Or just shadows?
Well, the narrative asks that just nerves, just shadows playing tricks. But then Leah jumps in very definitively.
What does she say?
She says, it's not just shadows, it's us. It's everything we're too scared to admit wrapped up in this endless stone.
Wow. So she's basically saying the manifestation is their internal stuff made visible.
Pretty much. It hammers home that central idea.
So the cave isn't just a physical prison. The story seems to be arguing
What?
that our own minds, our regrets, are the real traps.
That's the core revelation, I think. Maybe the cave doesn't trap us here physically. Maybe it traps what we carry inside. Our guilt, regrets, the things we avoid. It reframes the whole idea of being trapped. The worst prisons are the ones we build ourselves.
Which brings them to this crossroads moment.
Yeah.
Jin asks that really desperate question.
Then what do? Do we fight it, or do we let it consume us, twist us into another echo beneath the stone?
It's the classic dilemma when you face your own darkness, isn't it? Fight or give in.
Exactly. Do you let those inner echoes just take over, become part of the cave's sad history, or do you find the strength to face them?
And Maya makes the choice. She decides they need to confront it together.
Yeah, we confront it by facing it together. That feels key. It's not about running, it's about facing it, and crucially, not alone.
And the symbol they found earlier even seems to react to that, glowing faintly, like an affirmation.
It feels like it. Like acknowledging the truth and choosing to face it together, that's the way forward. It suggests shared vulnerability is a strength.
So they don't escape. Not yet, anyway. They just press onward.
Right.
Into the unknown.
Right. They don't know what nightmares or truths the cave would betray. The ending isn't about getting out. It's about continuing the internal journey.
Which is fascinating. It implies facing your inner stuff isn't a single event.
No, it's a process, ongoing. The echoes aren't just history. They're awakening something far older, far darker within them. The real journey is inward, and maybe it never fully ends. It's about navigating that internal landscape.
So, wrapping this up, Echoes Beneath the Stone is really clever in how it uses this cave setting.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor for our own minds, those hidden spots inside.
Absolutely. It shows that often the truly scary things aren't out there. They're the truths we try to bury inside.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That understanding ourselves means facing some uncomfortable stuff sometimes.
Definitely. You know, it's like sometimes external pressure, like in the story, is what forces us to look inward. It highlights why it's so important to face your own shadows rather than letting them linger.
Makes you think. So considering this deep dive, what does facing the dark mean for you listening right now? What unexamined echoes beneath the stone might be waiting for you to acknowledge them?